Okay, guys, we're going to jump into Google Drive today. Now, I'm just going to do a high-level overview here just to kind of give you an idea of how to best utilize Google Drive. A lot of your clients are most likely already utilizing it, so you can either come in and use it alongside them, or if their Google Drive is a hot mess, then you can go ahead and help them organize it a bit and just make it feel better, because we do want to be tidy digitally as well, right? You may run into some clients that use Microsoft Online, and that is fine. It is very similar to this. However, you might need to just spend a little bit more time getting to know the navigation features of that platform. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Okay, so when you log into Google, move my face. Up here, you'll see these 9 little boxes. If you click on this, this is where you're going to see you can go to your Gmail account, you can go to your Drive. If you want to jump directly to your documents, your sheets, your slides. So basically, this is like if you had a Word document, or if you had an Excel sheet, or this is, replacing PowerPoint, which we can also make slides on Canva, which we'll go over in another video. And then you have your calendar, your chat, your Meet. So this is like Zoom. Forms. Forms are great. So you can create forms to send out to people. And I can show you how to do that in a second here. And then depending on the version you have, you'll have other options as well. And you won't need to utilize all of these, but you might run into a few, and you'll see what your clients use as well. So when you come into your Drive, it's going to suggest things that you've been working on recently here. And then you're going to have all your folders down below. So in order to create a folder, you click new and you just do a new folder, and we'll just say a test folder here. Okay. So then now we can see our folder. We go into our test folder, and this is where we're going to create different documents. So whichever document or sheet or even presentation you're working on, you can upload. So if you click plus new here, you can do an upload. If you want to upload an image to your new folder, you can upload an entire folder from your computer if you're just transferring things over. And this is where you can also go through and say, I'm going to create a new document, or there's tons of templates on here that you can work through. Google Sheets is great. They have a lot of great templates you can utilize through here. So we're going to go ahead and make a form. Now, if you already have your discovery form questionnaire set up, then you probably have some sort of form. If you don't have your discovery form questionnaire set up, and we are diving into that whole project here in the course, Google Forms is a great way to set it up. So you would name it something other than discovery call, but for this, we'll just say it's discovery call. A little, you could do a sentence about your business, or, I look forward to talking with you soon, blah, blah, blah. Any information that the person might need. And then this is where you're going to create your different questions. So you title the question here, and then there's different options. So you could have a multiple choice question. You could have a drop down. If you, these are basically the same, just different styles of presenting different answers to them. If they need to insert like their name or their email, it'd be a short answer. If you want them to describe like a strategy or something, in length, you're going to select paragraph. And then there's different things you can choose here, on a scale to 1 to 5, how is this true to you? Or pretty much all the options that you would see in a normal quiz are going to be available here. So most likely in your discovery call, you're not going to need a checkbox grid, but it is an option for you. Then you could have them select a date. So if you want to know your client's birthday, because you're going to, send a birthday present, this is a spot you could collect that information. And then down here, you'll see this required slider. This is where you can decide if you're going to require this answer or this question to be answered before they can submit the form. If you don't like this question, or you made, you're like, oh, I no longer need that one, you can delete it. And then you can duplicate it. Let's say I'm going to ask this question twice, just a little different, but I don't want to redo all my settings. I just want to redo the title of the question. And now I have 2. So if I want to drag these and place them in different spots, I can just hover my mouse over these 6 little squares and I click it and I pull, and then don't release until you want to drop that. So it's super simple. Over here, you can play around with what it looks like. You could add a image or a video. If you wanted to do a discovery call questionnaire form, you could always add a video of yourself to talking them through this before they fill out the form. If you want to describe anything about your business or things that you're looking for as far as how they formulate their questions, you could add the video here. And just the more information we can give them without providing too much information is the best. So clear is kind. And so the more we can provide clarity in the things that we provide our clients, the better. So then if we go over here to responses, this is where we would see responses. So as people answer it, we can see them listed out here. What I like to do is link to sheets. And so it would pop up. We haven't named our form yet here, but if our form was named, it would have the form name here. And then I'm going to click create. And what this is going to do is it's going to create a Google Sheet so that all my answers, or all the answers I receive in this form, are now going to come into this Google Sheet. And it's just, I find it's easier to read this sheet than it is to go in here and read it, because what you're going to have to do here is like click through each response, and it's just not as easy. It's much easier to read the data as it comes in on a Google Sheet, especially if you are going to be doing something where you're going to be receiving a lot of data at once. Go ahead and make sure that you have this Google Sheet turned on. Now, if you forget to add that sheet for your responses, you can go back in a form, add the sheet, and Google is going to populate all the answers that have already been submitted into this new form. So that's also great. Now, if you are using a, actually, I'll show you this first. So if it is a discovery call form, you want to make sure as soon as your client submits this questionnaire, right? So that you can review it and you can be prepared for your call. You're going to click get email notifications, because now Google's going to email you every time someone fills out this form. So for most forms, I do recommend that. If this is a form where you're going to be collecting, over like 100 pieces of data from 100 pieces of, people or whatever it is, not pieces of people, but you know what I mean? Then you probably don't want to email for every single response that comes through. And then settings, the biggest thing here is to look at responses. And then if you're using a paid Google Workspace, you want to make sure that you're aware of if this is selected or not, because it automatically makes it so only people in your organization can submit information to this form. Whereas if this is a discovery call, I want everyone to be able to submit their information. So I want to make sure that this is unchecked, because if this is checked, they're going to click my questionnaire and it's not going to allow them in, which is just not the best way to put your, present yourself to a potential new client. Okay. And there's different, settings you can play around with in here if you want. So if we go back to our main form, if we click up here where it says untitled form, it's automatically going to name our form whatever title we put here. And then we can customize our theme. So you could leave it like this if you want it, or you can choose many different images on here. I prefer for a questionnaire, like a discovery call questionnaire, I would prefer that you upload, even if it's a simple, just the name, your name, or like if you do have a logo, it'd be your logo, but something professional. But there are some, decent ones in here. We'll choose this colorful one. So you insert the cover, and it's going to populate the background color to match whatever image that you picked here. You can change the font if you want, or play around with how you like it to look. And then you can click preview if you want to see what it's going to look like if someone goes to the link that you send them. And then in order to be able to send it, you're going to click this purple button that says send. You'll click this little link image, and then here's the link I always shorten it, but here's the link that you're going to share in the email that you send out your discovery call questionnaire form, or, whoever is receiving whatever form you just made. This is the form that allows people to fill in their answers. So as always, let me know if you have any questions. Google Forms are pretty straightforward. The main thing is just to make sure that if you are using the professional workspace, to go into your settings and make sure that anyone can submit their information. But as always, I'm here. Let me know if you have any questions.